Okay, so I am on the internet today doing my due diligence, digging through, raking through the muck, trying to find that kernel, that little gem that I can make a video about that's going to be informative and maybe a little bit funny. I don't know. I try. And I come across a interesting situation. This is something I initially heard about in a video by MundaneMatt. The link will be in the description for that video. That's sort of a preface. It leads up to, or it explains how I got to this story that I'm covering in this video. But it's not what the video is about. So if you want to hear about that one, link. But anyway, it was a video about a lawyer who is filing a lawsuit on behalf of police officers injured in protests and in a police shooting in Baton Rouge in 2016. The lawsuit is being filed against former leaders of the BLM movement, as well as Black Lives Matter itself. Now, for whatever reason, the lawyer in this case was attempting to raise funds to pay for the lawsuit via crowdfunding on a website called YouCaring. Now, YouCaring, I just found out about it or reviewed it and canceled the fundraiser. All right, they removed it from their site, they shut it down, and issued a statement saying that why they shut it down. And I'm kind of mixed on that whole issue because really I went to their site, I looked in their terms of service, and it does actually say, let me quote here, that YouCaring is not for that. Basically, please note, YouCaring does not permit fundraising campaigns for legal defense, litigation, bail bonds, or other legal matters. Related fundraisers may also be subject to review on a case-by-case basis. So, okay, I will give that to them. They get a pass on that particular instance because it's for litigation purposes, for legal purposes, and it does say in their terms of service that's not what they don't do that. But I was curious. I wanted to make sure that I covered all my bases, so I took a look at some of the fundraisers that were currently active, because I wanted to make sure that, like, okay, if that's their thing, they don't want you raising money for legal expenses or litigation, fine. However, I wanted to make sure that it was in fact that was the case, as opposed to maybe, I don't know, them axing that particular fundraiser because the case represents wrongthink for them, perhaps. And so I looked around, and what do you know, I come across this. The UAlbany Appeal Fundraiser. This is a fundraiser for the victims, I guess. I don't know how you would define them in this case, because it's kind of like a thing. Anyway, of the UAlbany bus incident that happened last year. Now, in this incident, 3 black college students, I forget the name of the college, were on a bus and evidently got into an altercation with some young white people. Whether or not they were students as well, don't know. Now, they got into this altercation, and when they finally get off the bus, they then report it to 911. They then go and blast it out over social media that they were the victims of a hate crime. And it picks up steam. It becomes basically a national story, complete with a tweet from the Lizard Queen herself, Hillary Clinton, which, when a presidential candidate is tweeting about your incident, it's a nationwide story. All right, and then all of a sudden, the coverage went away. And so what happened? Well, what happened was they kind of changed roles from victim to perpetrator and were charged with assault, attempted assault, and false reporting. And there were some articles that actually made the comparison of this incident to like Rosa Parks in like the 1950s. You know, come on, black women on a bus. You know, it might as well have been Jim Crow South in Mississippi, according to these people. But you see, the problem is, in those situations, there wasn't a camera on the bus. This time there was. And you know what? I got the video. So let's have a look. Let's see what happened. Roll the tape. Is that the right hook of innocence I see there? Okay, so as we can see there, that was a spirited altercation there. I mean, what happened? Did they, like, I mean, I suppose they could be telling the truth. I mean, maybe what they meant to say was that the innocent victim's knuckles were abused by that other person's face. I guess. I mean, you could make the legal argument. I wouldn't. But you could make it. But no, it gets even better because then, you know, they called 911. They released the tape for that. You see, they have some interesting comments about the whole altercation. Let's have a listen.
I would beat the shit out of it. That's why I got 3 of them down.
911, what's the address of the emergency?
I'm sorry, what was that? What was that? Let's hear that again.
I would beat the shit out of it.
One more time.
I would beat the shit out of it. That's why I got 3 of them down.
911, what's the address of the emergency?
Hi, I just got dumped on a bus and no one did anything.
Okay, where are you?
Now I'm walking towards Empire, but I was just on the 12. Me and my 3 friends got dumped. There was a racial crime. They were calling us nigger and all this stuff. And if someone doesn't come and takes us down or something, I'm going to call the news because it was ridiculous. They ripped out all of our hair and everything.
Okay.
They don't seem too distraught or shooken up over this horrific attack, now do they? So yeah, so that's where it went. Okay, it goes from national incident of hate crime to everyone stopped talking about it because it was a hoax, and they were actually the perpetrators, to conviction, which was another interesting topic. Another interesting bit we're here I want to mention was the conviction, because you see, originally there were three women involved in this. One of them dropped out because she was the only one that took advantage of a plea deal that was given like a fucking gift handed to them on a platter by the DA, which was, you make a public apology and you do 100 hours community service, and we're done here. One of them took advantage of it. The other two refused, and to this day refuse. So they went to trial. They were convicted of, despite the video, despite everything else, the only thing they were convicted of was filing a false report. They were sentenced to community service, probation, and a fine. But that's not good enough. No, because they're totally innocent. And they want to appeal the decision. And they want you to pay for it. And that's just fine with YouCaring and their terms of service. They don't mind that. But when it's cops that were wounded and Black Lives Matter is the target of the lawsuit, it's not in keeping with their terms of service. Now they're going to be hard asses about it. But when it's the other way around, despite the fact that they're raising money to pay legal expenses, to appeal a decision, a verdict that was reached in which they still don't do jail time, in which they were given they were given opportunities to get out of. Now that's fine. That's just fine. But not the other one. I find that very interesting. I find it a little suspicious of YouCaring's service. They seem to be a little biased in what they do and do not consider legal expenses, or what they do or do not consider within their terms of service. But, that's just my opinion. So that's all I got. So like, dislike, leave a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this matter. And if you haven't, be sure to subscribe. And I'll see you next time.